In this video we are going to talk about 10 behaviors that destroy great relationships. Always translate into success. Indeed, our commitment to a loved one may obscure our awareness of the relational errors that we all make from time to time, which have the ability to permanently harm even the most solid of relationships. Many of us make these errors unintentionally, while simultaneously disregarding our spouse's potentially harmful behavior. Given this and the consequences of these errors, it is critical that we make an effort to identify and address problems before they get entrenched inside a relationship. With this in mind, the following are some common errors that may jeopardize your relationship and erode the trust that exists between two people. Before we get to number 1, please don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our great informational videos. Number 1. Being financially irresponsible. Money can make or break a relationship, even more so if your disagreements originate from an irresponsible attitude toward spending or a reluctance to save. Additionally, complications may develop if you take exclusive financial responsibility for yourself, since this creates a schism in the partnership and demonstrates a lack of concern. To prevent this, maintain a fiscally responsible attitude that reassures your spouse of your future together while also budgeting for the requirements of a loved one. What do you think about our video? Let us know in the comment box below. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Thank you. Number 2. Having no other interests outside of your relationship. At the opposite end of the behavioral range, it's just as devastating to be absorbed totally and utterly by another's love. This may lead to an obsessive, single-minded concentration on your spouse, preventing you from pursuing other interests outside the relationship. This attitude may stifle your growth as a person, as well as elicit unpleasant feelings such as dread, worry, and paranoia. Dr. Seth Meyers suggests that the best approach to combat this is to create a note of how and when you used to spend your spare time when you were single. This serves as a convenient reminder of your hobbies while also providing inspiration outside the partnership and allowing your spouse to breathe. Number 3. Creating a codependent relationship. This brings us neatly to the subject of codependency, which often develops in partnerships in which one or both partners have limited external interests. This kind of relationship is characterized by a pattern of behavior in which you develop an unhealthy reliance on your spouse for your confidence and self-worth, which means you spend the bulk of your time seeking affirmation. Of course, interdependences may be very beneficial in areas such as art, athletics, and commerce, and the whole notion of a relationship is based on the idea of two lives becoming one. Maintaining a feeling of self-worth and your own distinct personality is critical. This stops you from being too dependent on your spouse to meet your emotional requirements. Number 4. Acting like you are single. While we have discussed the risks of codependency, it is important to remember that a loving relationship is characterized by two individuals who support and encourage one another. Balance is thus critical, since although you should avoid the dangers of a codependent relationship, you should equally avoid acting alone. When you act as if you are single without your partner's permission, you marginalize them and disregard their emotions. Always keep in mind that you are a member of a loving marriage and be ready to compromise on your single lifestyle, drawing inspiration from the characteristics that first drew you to your spouse. Number 5. Acting in an insecure and overly sensitive way. We all experience times of sadness, unworthiness, or depression, which may have a detrimental effect on our outlooks and behaviors. These sentiments may also cause chaos inside a relationship, since they impact your spouse adversely and elicit emotions such as insecurity and jealousy. Regardless of how much your spouse loves you, they cannot be expected to continuously cope with your anxieties or lack of self-worth, especially if their behavior does not justify such feelings. Although feelings of this kind are likely to be based in previous relationship failures, it is important to acknowledge this and work to overcome old habits. By recognizing that the issue is personal and honestly assessing your relationship, you may begin to live in the present moment rather than being plagued by ghosts of the past. Number 6. Demonstrating a deficit of affection. Not all individuals are made equal, and although some of us are naturally loving, others struggle to express their emotions physically or via contact. While most couples can accept this difference to some extent, there must be some accommodation and you must make every attempt to demonstrate love. Without this, your relationship may grow stale and veer toward friendship, while your partner may feel neglected or devalued. Hand-holding, snuggling, and embracing are all straightforward methods to demonstrate love without infringing on your physical boundaries. Even if you dislike public shows of love, you may make an effort to do so privately and behind closed doors. Number 7. Excessive criticism and nagging. Excessive nagging or criticism of a spouse may destabilize any relationship, regardless of the length of time two people have known or cared for one another. There are many reasons for this, but the main one is that it reinforces bad behavior and focuses on what a person does not do rather than on their good contributions to a relationship. Additionally, it may elicit emotions of animosity in adult relationships as well as those between parents and children. This may also result in a breakdown in communication over time, when one person makes repeated demands and the other just ignores them. It is critical to address this dynamic before it takes control of the relationship and becomes entrenched, thus, attempt to address it by using positive enforcement when requesting tasks be completed, or done better. Additionally, it is critical to demonstrate empathy and give your spouse time to react. Number 8. Demonstrate an inability to pay attention or communicate effectively. As previously said, a prolonged absence of love may be detrimental to your relationship. The same concept holds true when one partner fails to pay attention to the other, or at the very least fails to express their interest in their ideas, words, or accomplishments. Our technological fixation has heightened awareness of this problem in the contemporary day, as couples spend an increasing amount of time on social and digital media rather than talking with one another. Recognizing this problem, fortunately, is the first step in resolving it. From here, you may make a deliberate effort to spend time together without the use of technology or distractions, instead conversing with one another and devoting 100% of your attention to the discussion. At mealtimes, technology should be avoided, since this is an excellent chance for loved ones to converse and interact. Number 9. Being a liar. It is argued that we have all lied at some point, either to establish a false belief or to conceal proof of wrongdoing. While these are often little fabrications, it is important to realize that lying is a compulsive behavior that may rapidly spiral out of hand and do considerable harm to a relationship. Whether it appears as adultery or a succession of tiny, connected falsehoods that gradually take root, this behavior breeds suspicion and erodes the fabric of any relationship. The best way to resolve this is to be truthful and to have faith in the connection you have with your spouse. Because a loved one is much more likely to forgive mistakes if you are brave and candid with them, this is always the best course of action if you are serious about having a long and productive relationship. If you are incapable of doing so, you are not prepared to be in a relationship or to put others' needs ahead of your own. Number 10. Following impulses and compulsions. Regrettably, lying is only one of a number of obsessive behaviors that may devastate a relationship. These may arise as a consequence of dissatisfaction or resentment inside a relationship, when we engage in a specific activity in search of comfort and consolation. This may appear in a variety of ways, ranging from shopping and gambling to binge eating. Additionally, these behaviors demonstrate a lack of respect for your spouse and your relationship, especially since they imply an inability to communicate the deepest emotions that motivate such behavior. You must thus develop an openness to vulnerability and the ability to express your feelings to your partner while you work together to address underlying problems and strengthen your relationship. Thanks for watching video.